Today, Laura had a sign at the abandoned bungalow. Could this be the luck of the Irish? A pot of gold waiting for her at the end. She had been manifesting her dream house lately. So, who am I to put a dampener on her high spirits and mention that instead of a money pot, this may be a money pit? But only time will tell. Gary and Brian have been rewarded with treats for their hard work this week. Gary enjoyed the apples and carrots, as Brian showed his true worth by continuing with the brambles. Just a reminder, gentlemen, that size does not matter. Meanwhile, Laura thought now was a crucial time to start planting perennial seeds. Whilst you can not currently step in the garden without being tripped over by ivy roots or tree stumps. Yes, I'm equally as confused as you as to why this job is even on the to-do list. But apparently, Laura loves gardening, and it is all part of her big plan. It is that time of the week, again, here at the abandoned bungalow, where Laura picks up her sledgehammer. I wonder what on earth she has planned for after she has smashed everything in sight. She herself has considered if perhaps she just needed a hug, not an abandoned property. But here we are. Impulsive, impatient, and extremely optimistic, she powers on to the bathroom, which will soon, cough cough sorry, but I believe I should correct my wording, which will at some point be knocked through into the toilet to create a large family bathroom with a standalone bath, walk-in shower, both windows moved, and a wall-hung vanity. I mean, honestly, if you saw this girl's inspiration pictures, you may assume she has lots of spare pennies. But the truth is, she has just put them all on black. When I say black, I mean on a house where the insulation is ivy and the AC is an open-air roof. Let's see if her gamble pays off, shall we? Laura had a weekday off, so headed over to the abandoned bungalow bright and early. To her surprise, she discovered that ivy was not the only source of insulation, and in fact, there is straw in the walls. She got to work removing this, before remembering that PPE was invented for a reason, and a mask should be worn when dealing with dust. Especially when you are sniffing up straw from 100 years ago. She swiftly moved outside. Laura appears to like to start numerous tasks, but moves on quickly when she is bored. I do hope that she will stay focused long enough to complete this abandoned property. But this will only become apparent over time. On occasion, Laura potters off to see Gary and Brian. Sometimes hours can be lost on bum scratches, snack sharing, and lunch dates. But Laura isn't in a rush. She is here for the memories made and the challenge set. The only pressure and challenge she currently feels is remembering to video herself for this thing called TikTok, which I am pretty sure Laura is as clueless about as me. The abandoned bungalow the day it went to auction was a sight that would have scared off most sensible or experienced people. Luckily, for us, Laura is neither of those things, and she bidded and bidded like she was playing with Monopoly money. Quickly realizing it was indeed not a game, and here we are. Laura got the keys at the end of April, and I believe it is about time she showed us around. The gardens were so overgrown, she had no idea how big it actually was. You enter the 1920s bungalow, and on the left is bedroom 1. Across the hallway is bedroom 2, leading out to a separate toilet and bathroom, all becoming very apparent that this property has been unoccupied for 16 years. Bedroom 3 is next to the bathroom, where Laura has discovered there is very little roof, and another hallway leads to the living room, where there is more ivy in the ceilings than you would care to imagine, and the overgrown garden is touching the windows. The walk-in pantry and kitchen follow on to complete this once wonderful bungalow that in due course Laura optimistically wants to bring back to life. She is also very grateful that the rats have eaten anything possible and vacated a long time ago. and the only freeloaders are pretty large, hairy spiders. Did Laura find any treasure at the abandoned bungalow? I mean, after all, it has been left unoccupied for 16 years and came full of things. But this does depend on what you may call a treasure. Laura did not have high expectations, considering the state of the place. But what she does find, she would like to upcycle where possible. So these cobbler's anvil will become bookends in her bay window nook, with shelves made from one of the original doors. These bits and bobs will be cleaned and used as ornaments. This stunning clock had already been given a new life and in due course will be back at the bungalow. Laura even picked some succulents from the garage roof and potted them in a pot she had found in the garden. I mean, seriously, where does this girl's brain go? This large planter got spray-painted black, and it is already filled with perennial seedlings to brighten up the garden. So the answer to the question is no. No, there has not been any treasure found at the abandoned bungalow. I am here to inform you of the weekend update from the abandoned bungalow. However, Laura is apparently too tired on this Sunday evening to think of anything witty or sarcastic to say about herself. Mind, she would like to make it clear to you. This is, in fact, Laura talking about herself in third person, and sadly, not Sir David Attenborough. I believe he may have more important things to tend to than narrating this abandoned property renovation. And whilst we are clearing up a few bits of confusion, I would like to say that Laura's father did not take on this challenge with her. He simply entertained his daughter's craziness and came for a look around it, and he actually advised her to not buy it. His words were, "Darling, this is completely beeped." But she, of course, did not listen. Anyway, look at what you can achieve in 4 weekends. 2 of which, Laura, were fully solo, because the majority of her team of silver foxes have all buggered off to the Caribbean and bravely left Laura unsupervised. They have, however, left her with one simple instruction. You may be thinking, where PPE, do not knock down any walls. Tell a friend you're at the house alone. No, it was to check on Grandma often. Laura understood, so she brought her 97-year-old grandma to the abandoned bungalow. I am pretty sure that is not what they had in mind. Welcome to the glamorous tour of a rat's paradise, also known as Laura's kitchen cupboards in the abandoned bungalow. Get ready to be amazed by the stunning collection of expired goods that the rats could not resist, from vintage stuffing mix to ancient salad cream, and let's not forget the powdered milk that has probably turned into a science experiment by now. Oh, and did I mention the tea bags that look like they have survived a zombie apocalypse? And who could ignore the strawberry jam that expired back in 2009 but still looks surprisingly edible? Unlike its unfortunate counterpart, the plum jam that the rats had a field day with. It continues. Trifle mix, custard powder, an array of sauces. Cup of soups, and a sprinkle of rat poo for that added extra touch. This kitchen is far from what Laura hopes to one day create here. One thing I will do is applaud is this girl's gag reflex. I have seen many things in my time, but when I saw that gravy powder, I was as startled as a deer in the headlights. Seriously, Laura, can you please start knocking down walls so I can narrate on actual renovation stuff? This was not in my contract.